Hello, everybody. Welcome to Clutch's Corner. Let's go ahead and go over the watch list and check some things out. And we'll start with Airbnb. So Airbnb, that entry for is 147.83. I really like that we are kind of staying underneath this area right in here. As you can see that recently, every time we wicked up above it, we've come down, wicked up above it, came down, we're wicking it again. And if the pattern continues, then we will be coming back down to retest these things out. There is a trend that is being formed right in here, as you can see, but that should be able to at least catch you to price target 2. If it doesn't break through that, we won't hit 3, but we'll make some money along the way. And it also kind of coincides with this purple trend line from an earlier trend where you can see that it was having a lot of trouble getting beneath it, got beneath it, finally shot back up above it, and it continued to have trouble getting beneath it. And now we're going to come retest that again right here in this area. So we could see a pop down. And when it gets to these areas right in here, I'm getting out. I'm just going to get out of it because I don't want to be, uh, roadkill. Uh, awesome. Awesome. So that's Airbnb. Oh, and the strike prices that I'll be looking at for that. Airbnb, the 147. I actually really like the price of these right here. Spreads, just whenever you go to buy it, just adjust it down if you need to, if the spreads are bad in the morning. Typically, Airbnb can have like some pretty wild spreads in the morning. So we'll see if it gives us a chance by breaking entry in the middle of the day. So going down to the 30-minute time frame, we can start seeing where some price targets are. The first one's going to be here, where you can see, good golly, Miss Molly, this thing has a lot of trouble getting beneath this price right in here. So we're not going to ignore that, right? This is a very strong algorithm. Unfortunately, it is PT1. It is close, but if we do break through this, then we'll come test out the bottom of it, which is down here. Now, if you notice, that's kind of close to where the bottom of this algorithm is coming down to. It finally does break it here, wakes it. It's really close to waking it through here, but that 3 has got a strong algorithm in it. So I think that that's going to be where we test out. And then, of course, simply the low of the previous day is the final price target, which also happens to be a 3. So we'll see how that goes. This is going to be a good play tomorrow. I'm going to be honest. I'm feeling pretty good about it. But as long as the spreads are good, right? Spreads have to be good on Airbnb, otherwise it's not worth taking. Next, PayPal with good golly, Miss Molly, a very, very sexy play. If we look up in here, again, we can see we wick off of this several times. We did break up and then immediately was like, I don't like being here. I don't know. I don't want to be here. Came back again, and it's like, I told you I don't want to be here, and it's coming back down again. We did have to fight through these trends in here, which we have broken down into, but then immediately shot us back up. So we're kind of ping-ponging between these things. But because we closed down here, I'm feeling really good that we are going to rip through these, right? We might have some contention around these parts where the trends are, but I do feel really good about it. And PayPal, strike price on this that I'm looking at is the 59. If this is really inexpensive for you and you were somebody that likes to put a lot of money into their things, and so a cheap contract like this is its percentage fluctuation, especially when it goes negative on you, might be too much. Go ahead and get a farther out strike price. Of course, there is a massive difference between this week and next week. Or get in the money. Just get the in the money one. Get the 60. In this case, you'll already be in the money, but it'll be a little bit more expensive, and we'll help pad that percentage fluctuation. Contracts are really inexpensive like that. So moving into the 30 minutos. Boop, bang, boop, bop, beep, right? There you go. No, I'm just kidding, guys. So right in here, this is the first one, where we can see that we did wig through, finally got through, but look what happens when we get back up into it. We test it, we wake down, and we test it again, and then we push up from it. So there's an algorithm there. We're going to pay attention to that. Next is going to be this spot. But once we wicked it and shot up, and here we wick it and push down, we're pushing down. Finally, we're getting stuck at it all over again. We can't close underneath it. We get underneath it, we close at it. We bounce up, we test it again, we come down, we break it again, we close above it, and we keep shooting up. And it all is happening right around this trend. Look at what's happening around these trends. That's where the um, contention, that the fighting is happening, right? After that, wait, let me grab it. There we go. We'll come test the bottom of this too, because 1, 2, 3 candles were not able to close below this on the 30-minute chart. So I'm not going to ignore that. Oops, don't get the wrong one. And then, of course, the low of the day, which is a pretty far shot. But as far as range goes, I do believe that it has the range to cover this. You know, if it starts tomorrow, right where it opened up at, it definitely has the range to take this stuff out and a little bit more. But no need to go crazy with the price targets when we have pretty good stepping stones where we're at. So next is QCOM. What am I talking about? That clearly says QCOM. QCOM. I'm stuttering. That's all it was, guys. So QCOM, I really like the setup for it. Partially, the reason that I like the setup for it is because it's like retesting the monthly entry and closing beneath that. Now, if you took the monthly play on it, it already did take out price target 1, which is right in here. You can see where the highlight is. It hasn't taken out price target 2 yet, but as far as my watch list on the monthly goes, it has hit PT1. However, this late in the month, we are still beneath that monthly entry and could be trying to retest things again and finally pick a direction for the week so far after that massive 3 from last week. Broke entry, came down, hit PT1, went a little bit lower, and we shot up. We're retesting that monthly entry, and we can come back down and test these things back out, which also coincides with where that monthly PT1 is. So we're not being like greedy or anything like that. We're right in line with what we should be in line with. Very choppy day today on QCOM. Good God, Miss Molly. Very choppy day today. Bottom of this failed too, right in here. We can see this 1 wicks it, this 2 wicks it, and these 2 candles are both, you know, doing some things through it. So right in here is going to be our first algorithm. The bottom of the 1, 1, 2 candles, 3 candles to be considered. This one is also wicking through it. And then if we look on beyond, we can see that it is wicking through it all in here, wicking down off of it here, having its fight in here, and then finally pushing down. So every time it gets into this, it's like trying to pick a direction. It's like the scarecrow from the Wizard of Oz. Like, which way do I want to go, right? It's trying to figure it out. So when it gets to that algorithm, we'll let it decide. Right in here, we can see how this is all pushing to the downside. Then it wicks to the upside. Then it wicks to the downside. Now it's wicking to the upside. So right in here is going to be that next price target. And then, of course, the low of the day of yesterday's day is going to be the next price target. Do we already talk about strike prices? Anyways, the 190 is what I'm looking at. Really inexpensive for it. If you go next week, you're going to be paying an exuberant amount more. So I recommend same week, 190, and I think you'll be all right, especially with the price. You won't have too much of a fluctuation there that'll, you know, make you worried for anything like that. All right, let's keep it going with Uber. Beautiful fail too. Now this was on the watch list today and it didn't trigger its entry, but it is still looking like it wants to. So let's go ahead and check that out for its strike price. Uber. Going to be looking at the 67. Now this is a great price for it. Love the spreads on it. Uber is a great ticker to trade. I've made a lot of money this year so far off of Uber. And because of that, like I'm excited to trade it. You know, when you make some money with the ticker and you're like, hey, let's do that again. That was fun, right? That's how I'm feeling about Uber tomorrow. So if we go to the 30-minute time frame, we can see our first price target here, 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 and here. I'll show you where I get this one and why I get it. And let's go ahead and show these off. Bam. Look at this. Wicks off of it, wicks through it, wicks through it, wicks through it, wicks off of it, wicks through it, wicks through it, wicks through it. Finally, ding, 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 wicks off of it. So here's algorithm number 1. If we can make it through here, we'll come test out algorithm number 2, which look at this. Wicks off of it, wicks through it, almost wicks off of it, almost wicks off of it, can't close beneath it, wicks through it, closes under it, immediately comes back up above it, wicks off of it, wicks off of it. There's algorithm number 2. Look at all those prices each time, or all these candles each time it hits this price. Boop, 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 gone, right? So we're going to pay attention to that. Now, I did get one in the middle here. Now we have the final of the day right in here where we can see that boop, bank, bam, bink, all wick off of it, wicking through it here. So the algorithm is not down here. It's up here, and these just triggered in a little bit later. That's all that it is, right? Got to be aware of that. U.S. Senator Bob Mendez resigning after corruption conviction. Damn, Bob. Should have been on the straight and narrow, bro. All right, so let's check this out. Right in here, I went to the 5-minute chart. And the reason why I did is because on the 30-minute, I could see that there was a lot of choppiness in there, but I needed to zoom in to see like where is its like real point of algorithm within that chop. And it's right here off the bottom of this failed too. And if you look at this, you can see how we wick off of it to the downside here, wick through it and come back down, get close to wicking it, wick through it, come back down, and then look at this, ding, pop, boop, bang, break down, wick off, wick through it, wick off of it, get right to it and close above it or at it, finally gets beneath it, touches it again, finally gets down, comes back up, oops, sorry I left here, let me hang out some more, finally gets away, and then the next time it gets back to this area, look at what happens. Whoop, whop, whoop, wham. It's like crossing through it all crazy, trying to fight for that control. So right here is where that next algorithm is. I just had to zoom into the 5-minute chart to find it, because looking at the 30-minute chart, you're just not going to see it the same way. You just see all this choppiness, but you see all these wicks. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Like, let me zoom in, because it's not going to just be here at the top of this or at the bottom of this. There's something going on in here that is going to come before it gets down here. And so that's why I zoomed in. Last but not least is Walmart. Walmart with the fail two, getting ready to go back to the upside, saying, hey, I want to make new highs all over again. Cool for the people that took some profit on here. Shouts out to the ones that took it off the watch list, because that printed really well. And let's go to the 30-minute time frame to talk about where the strikes are gonna, or excuse me, price target's gonna be. But the strike, that's what was on my mind, that I'm gonna suggest is the 71. If you want to get in the money, I suggest the 70, or you can go next week even and get the 71. A little bit better of a price as far as that percentage fluctuation that I'm talking about goes. And you have a very nice delta attached to it with a really weak theta. So that's great. And if it ends up doing its thing and it, wants to go off and test new highs, maybe you can leave a couple runners with a nice trail stop on it to let it go do that. First price target's going to come right here off of this 2, top of it, because look at all this. Whoa. Let's just break down everything that we've been talking about, right? Look at all this price action hitting it. Then we're going to test the top of this 2, and then look at this. Look at all this price action, wicking off of it, wicking through it, trying to figure out what it's to do. Then we're going to test the top here, which wicking through it, wicking through it, wicking through it, wicking it, wicking it, wicking it, and then we'll test the high of the day. So pretty easy for the price targets in this bad boy, and looks really great. Now, there's a lot of other potential setups out there, Meta, Google, things like that, NVIDIA, but I'm not putting them on the watch list because they got a lot of sympathy plays from Google's earnings that came out. And they, like, if that's where entry was, they've already broken so far down and taken out so many price targets in post-market that I'm really not interested in putting them on the watch list just for them to start at price target 5 for tomorrow. And I really, in my heart of hearts, do not believe that they're going to take out all this, come back up, and then take it all out again. I just don't see it doing that. So that's why, Google, NVIDIA, and other things like that, like, I'm just not putting on the watch list because they're just already so far down because of Google's earnings that just came out. And yeah, so good luck, everybody. God bless. Let's keep making some money tomorrow. It is 7:30 p.m. and I am going to start trading some futures. And I will talk to y'all soon. If you're ready to trade some futures, comment futures in the video. We're going to be live trading futures together very soon. God bless, and I will see you on the other side. Peace. Say bye. Say bye. Hurry, hurry, hurry.